And boom, done, friends. You will all be able to achieve super soft and fluffy tortillas. Hello and welcome to the View's Kitchen. On today's Help Wednesday, you have been asking me, Steph, how do you make your tortillas so soft and fluffy? Mine's look like a map. Mine's are hard. How do you store them? Well, friends, today we are going to go over how to get these tortillas nice and soft, just like how our family makes it, so that you can make it comfortable for your home. But guess what? We have to go over the ingredients. All-purpose flour, salt, and today I'm using this salty lady right here because this is going to give you the best flavor in your tortillas. Make sure to look in the description area for more details. Lard and warm water. To your all-purpose flour, add your salt. Mix that around. Add your lard. What you want to do with this lard is you want to break it into the flour. I start off by giving it a good squeeze to introduce. And then I start pinching. This should take you about 1 minute to 2, and you just want to make sure that you combine it fully, okay? Until you don't see any of the clumps and it's all incorporated into your flour.
We get a lot of questions about what kind of fat to use in your tortillas. You've explored with a lot of different fats. But, I'm not going to say but. What can you tell us about the different kinds of fats that you've explored and...
That you have to make it comfortable for your home, pretty much. I know that when I use shortening, it gives me a really bad heartburn.
Okay.
And when I use lard, I'm able to process that a lot better.
Okay.
It's going to be up to you, friends.
So you have to experiment with the quantities of the fat?
Yes.
Okay.
For example, if you're using butter, you have to make sure that you work with it little by little. And it might not work out the first time for you, but the second time you're going to know exactly what to do. Because butter sometimes has more water content than we like. Mm-hmm. So it changes a little bit of what you're making. And also for all my friends in Colorado or in high altitude places, you guys know
you need an altitude
girl. Anyways, Cloud, get on point here, okay?
Okay, I love
focus. So what I'm saying, the moisture in here is gonna have a huge difference. So you're gonna have to work this recipe, and I don't want you to think I'm never gonna make it again because it didn't work out the first time. Well, let me tell you, this recipe I'm about to show you is gonna be boom boom done. Okay?
And when we were younger, aside from, I'm talking about at home, not at at a tortilla factory, because I think people don't know that we actually grew up in one.
Yes, for many, many years. My childhood was spent when I wasn't in school. I was in a tortilla factory.
That's right. And what I was going to say is what many people don't know, that even at home, our moms, you didn't start off by doing these steps. You sat there at a bench and you watched. So your first part of learning is listening and watching a couple of times. So you may have to watch all the tortilla videos that we have until you feel ready to do it.
Yes, that is true. Some of you watched the birria recipe, for example. Thank you all that watched. And you watched it 3 times just till you can get it exact. And the outcome of that was very, very different because you were able to master it. And I think I can walk you through here. And you're going to be very successful with this step that I'm about to give you. So pay attention.
We were ready when your mom said, all right, you're putting in the water.
Yep, this is go time. This is the time where you want to have your hair back. You tell your kids you're not touching anything. You need to have a little buddy there that's going to get anything extra that you need because your hands are going to get sticky, okay? Let me show you the consistency of our flour once you incorporate the lard into the flour, okay? It almost feels like when you're going to do a crumble or like a pie crust and you can make shapes out of it when you squeeze it.
No, that's a good tip.
There you go. So now that you have your flour and your lard combined well, you're gonna make a little well right here, okay? You're gonna add your amount of water, not gradually, all at one time.
And again, that's warm water.
Warm water. It's not super hot, it's warm. Did you guys hear me? It's not super hot. You don't want to cook it. Just warm enough to hydrate it.
Mm-hmm. Like a baby's bottle.
Your water should be about 90 degrees, tends to work for me. And if you see my motion, I have a very heavy hand, friends. Just squeeze. Fold it in and make sure it's nice and sticky and gooey.
Develop your own rhythm too.
Yes. Our bodies are very, very different. You can start with my rhythm until you find your own groove, okay? There is no right and wrong when you're mixing. You just gotta do what works for you. This is an important step, okay, friends? Do you see how it's all hydrated, nice and wet? You're gonna say, Steph, why are you gonna add more water? Let me show you. Add about 2 tablespoons of water. That's also warm water. Right here, you can see how this kind of looks like oatmeal. That gooiness, that's the consistency you want at this moment. It doesn't all have to be completely like that, but on the outsides, you're gonna notice that you have a smooth oatmeal looking dough. Look at how sticky that is.
Yep.
It's almost like we're gonna make a piñata. Now this is nice and soft. All this flour is hydrated, and we noticed that if we try to make a tortilla out of this, we wouldn't be able to. So now this is where the part that you're gonna be like, why, Stephanie? Because this is how you make Sonoran style flour tortillas. To this amazing hydrated dough, you're gonna add some of your all-purpose flour. And start mixing it around. Since our water was nice and warm and we hydrated our flour, your mixing time is gonna be a lot less. And to make your life even better, exact measurements are in the description area. Once you incorporate that last bit of flour, you can do 2 things. You can continue to knead your dough for another 8 to 10 minutes until it's not sticky. Or, for those of you that don't have the time or you have certain aches, you can place it into your stand mixer and continue to mix until it doesn't stick to your bowl. You can take it off into the surface, or you can continue to mix in your bowl. You'll be able to do this. After you knead your dough, it should feel supple. It should feel like when you put moisturizer on your cheeks and it's nice and soft and you can feel how light they are and cushy. You just want to touch your cheeks. That's how your masa should feel. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna lather a little bit of lard on our hands, rub it all over our dough, and we're gonna let it rest for 10 minutes. Now we're gonna make sure that our dough is nice and moisturized so that it doesn't get dry on us, okay? After you lather your dough with the lard and it's nice and soft and it's not gonna dry out on us, we still want it to rest in a warm place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place it in my oven with the light on at 0 degrees, just so it's nice and warm. So just set this in a place in your home where it's nice and warm, okay?
In my bed.
Okay. And after 10 minutes, we have a nice dough that's ready to make into little balls.
Sorry, but I have a question.
What's
from
your
our
question?
viewers.
What's
How
your
do you
question?
know this masa is ready to be formed into a balls?
The longer you let it rest, the better your dough's gonna be for stretching your tortillas. It's just gonna get nice and soft, kind of like this. We kneaded it enough.
So you rested the dough for 10 minutes, which that's how we were taught. But what if someone forgets?
It's okay. There's been times when I've been cleaning or doing the classwork with my kids and I leave it there for about 2 hours. I come back, it's just really nice and soft, and it just gives it a better stretch because it's been there setting, it's warm. So nothing's gonna happen. You're gonna be okay. Now we're gonna make our balls. 60 grams is a great size for your table tortillas or for the small burritos that you guys see us make here on the channel all the time, like the wet burrito. They work great. So just squeeze, squeeze, and about 60 grams is gonna do the trick. So you don't have to have a scale, but if you wanna have a set amount of tortillas, it works. There we go. 60 grams looks like that. And The wonderful part about weighing them is that this makes it fun for the kids. Because you're like, ooh, can I get it this one? This is what I do with my kids so you guys can have a little fun. Come in, squeeze it. And we try to see how close we can get to the 60 grams. Ooh, 61, you guys see that? Mm-hmm. So that's how we have fun in the kitchen. I'm gonna continue to make the rest of these balls, so hang tight.
Yeah, if you make the process fun, kids are more likely to carry on the tradition.
Yeah, anywhere from 60 grams to 63 should be okay. Ooh, yeah.
If you love balls, come through. Just kidding. Not again.
Not again, friends, but yes, we mean it. You're gonna end up with anywhere between 2 to 3 dozens, and it'll depend on how much flour you add, depending on your region, okay? There is no perfect way, but you can perfect it and make it comfortable for your home. So what you wanna do at this point, you wanna lather your hands, and I know, more lard, more shortening, yes, you're gonna make the best tortillas anybody has ever had in their life. So make sure to coat them, make them look like they're little Halloween costumes, hair sticking out.
Little ghosts.
Yes. We're gonna start rolling the first 2 balls that we formed, okay? These are the last ones, and you'll always end up with 2 that are a little bit smaller, and I just split them up for the babies. Well, they're not babies, but you know. And all we're gonna do is make them into little balls, okay? See that? Boom, done. Now, if your hands hurt doing that and pinching, you can get 1 by 1. Cup it. Your flat hand.
Get the ball and put it on the ball of your hand.
That's exactly what you do.
Balls on balls.
Balls on balls, friends.
Squared.
Balls and balls everywhere. I don't know how many of your partners are gonna walk in when I just said that. I'm sorry, guys, if you walked into that. So you can do it that way or the way that I taught you, okay? If when you're rolling your balls, they feel a little bit dry, just get a little bit more lard and continue. See how smooth that is? Just how you guys see it on my Instagram all the time. If you have a little bit of the dough and the lard that get on your counter, not to worry, just continue. And if it bothers you, just clean it up. Move it to the side. Get a little bit of lard. And cover them. I turned on my comal, my cast iron pan. And now, for those of you that have a kitchen that's a little bit cold, do the same process. Place them in your oven with the light on at 0 degrees so that we can keep our bolitas, our little balls, nice and warm before we start rolling them out. And I like to turn my pan on, my cast iron, for at least 10 to 15 minutes on a low heat, just so that it can warm up and give us the heat that we need to make these tortillas. Because you guys know that when Cloud and I make these tortillas, in about 20-30 minutes, we can have 3 dozens, 30. Oh my, no.
No.
We
Don't
can
take
have
me
about
back to those days.
We can have about 3 dozens rolled out for the family, because everybody, when they eat the tortillas, they eat about 3. So you want a bowl of all-purpose flour, and you want to start with the first one that you rolled, because that's going to be the softest one. It's already been setting there, okay? Make sure to keep it covered so that they don't dry out. You're going to press 1, 2, 3, and you're going to press with about this right here. You see? And press it down good. Don't be scared of that flour. I'm gonna show you 2 ways. Half of this, I'm gonna do the way that my mom does it, which is she pinches right here at the ends.
I know why, but why do you pinch at the ends?
When you roll out your tortillas, you're gonna notice that the edges tend to be thicker for a lot of people that are not familiar with tortillas, okay? So that allows for a smooth tortilla equally. So just do that all the way around. And if you need more in-depth practice for this, I do have quite a variety of videos for you to look at that are gonna help you. And what I do is I just press it down like that with this part.
With the ball of her hand.
Yes, like this.
She just doesn't want to keep saying ball, you guys.
I don't, but
what
Cloud does. So now let me show you what I do when my hands are aching, okay? Because you guys know that I have arthritis. I'm almost gonna be 40, friends. Yeah. We're gonna press it down the same way that I taught you. And I press like this, like I'm pinching like this.
The key is whatever feels good for you with whatever part of your hand to help you do the job.
Yeah, and if you see, sometimes I press in here too. You know, you have to develop the techniques that work for you and your hands, and we're not all made the same, yet we're all the same. So it's not too different. It just depends on how you do it. Okay, so now we're ready to roll them out. Just some flour on your counter. And I'm starting halfway, rolling it out, halfway, rolling it down. I had a family member try to make a tortilla and it came out as a square, and I was able to fix it and make it into a circle.
And it was not me, so don't shade me. Don't shade me in the comments. Don't do it.
It wasn't Cloud. Okay? So once you have a chancla, a sandal looking thing in that length, you're gonna flip it over to the side. Just like that. I start here in the middle, up, down, up, down, up, down. And if you see, sometimes it'll stick, and if it sticks, just flip it over. It's gonna help you out. Get a little bit of flour.
Can you tell us how much pressure you're adding to the
Don't play, girl. Quit playing. Are you serious?
I'm very serious right now.
It's very light.
It's light, you guys. This is not extra. You should not be showing your strength here.
It's like very, very light. Because if you press really hard, you're just gonna smear the tortilla. You notice I just bring a little flour. And these are habits that you kind of just create naturally. Nobody can tell you like you can do this or that. The next one I'll show you guys a little bit faster. And most of my tortillas do come out perfect. They really do, because they taste great. It's not so much the shape, but if you want to make your shape perfect, then you can just give it a practice, but give it a gentle, and then continue.
Another good tip is do not compare your tortillas to anyone else's. You are unique to your technique. You're unique to what your family likes. Don't compare your tortillas to anyone.
I did that. I compared my tortillas to my mother's, and now I have my mother's technique, but they're my tortillas with her technique. So.
And nobody's trying to replace your mama.
See, and I'm just being whatever here, just rolling it out, not trying to be perfect for you guys, so that you guys can see at home how easy this dough is to work with, okay? And you'd be surprised how much you can stretch this particular mixture of dough. Look at that. You can actually see through it. I'm gonna give it one more stretch, because once you pick it up, it'll shrink just a bit.
I think the one thing that can get in the way of you making your tortillas round is putting a lot of pressure on yourself emotionally, being sad. Oh yeah, that's nice and thin.
We're ready.
What else do you think can get in the way? Frustration?
If you're trying to be perfect. Right now, what you should be working on is trying to get that flavor of the tortillas to work, because your salt adjustment is going to be slightly different every time until you perfect it to what you like and what your family likes. So when you make it for your family, ask them, did you think it needed more salt, less salt? Did you like them? So this is my take on these tortillas. You know that I try to be pretty exact with the things that I'm telling you, and it's gonna vary with like Himalayan salt, table salt. Those things make a huge difference in your food. Now let's go ahead and cook this tortilla.
And don't forget, if we can do it, so can you.
You can do it. I want to say my friends, but I want to say my babies, because I am a mother and I love you all like a mother. And I know that sounds strange because we're virtual friends and we hang out all the time, but this is what I'm going to say to you because I care about you. Now, I know you want to show up with your ego and show your family how great your tortillas are, the tortillas are going to speak for themselves. I want you to take care of your hands. You've been working this dough with your hands, you've been moving your joints, and you're going to be making these tortillas on a hot comal or your cast iron or your pan. Whatever you do, when you're done making these tortillas, do not wash your hands. The other thing I want to tell you is that for my Mexican people, even if you use a spatula, that's not going to change the fact of your ethnicity. You're still Mexican, okay? So if you want to flip it with your hand just to learn that way, you can. Please be very, very careful. And if you want to flip it with a spatula and get all SpongeBob on it, do it. Make it comfortable for your home because your health is important. And the older we get, our body changes, okay? So for those of you that say it's too much work, let me tell you. Yeah, it is work when you first started doing it. But after so many times that you do it, it's just gonna come naturally to you. So remember, if you don't use those muscles, they stop working. So it's important for you, even if you do this once a month, that you work those muscles so that you can keep functioning at an 80, 90-year-old age. That's the way I see it.
Woohoo!
You guys let me know.
Cheers.
Mom's done, let's cook.
Thank you for looking out for those special little hands out there.
Yes, be very, very careful, friends. DJ Tortilla. Friends, you talk about having maps. It's okay. If you see me stretching it, it was just a gentle. It wasn't a big pull, okay? It was just gentle.
So, can you show us how to repair a tear? Because I know that was the purpose of that one. So, thank you so much.
Just squeeze it
You
together.
have questions about tears? Just like you patch up your bike.
Boom, done. And when you cook these, you can just see a bubble up and you can't really tell once you get all these grooves that you might be stressing about when you're making your tortilla. You just, just make sure that at that final roll that you do, that you pick it up and place it back down because you're gonna see it shrink in size. And if you feel like you need your tortilla a little bit bigger, guess what? It is so forgiving that it'll stretch a little bit more for you. And remember, tortillas are like your kids and children and people. They're not all created equal, okay? So let them do what they're gonna do. The flavor is gonna be there. Our cast iron is nice and hot. And I say nice because it's gonna give us some great tortillas. We are gonna lay this tortilla from north to south, okay? We're gonna lay it halfway down and then we're gonna flip it. You're gonna put that tip north, flip it.
Always honor the direction your ancestors came in.
That's right, el norte.
From the north.
Ready? Flip. And you only want to cook them a few seconds if you're going to be reheating them, because if you're going to serve them right now, cook them fully, but you just need a little bit. The other thing you don't want is you don't want those big bubbles, so you can just release that air. One more time, we're going to place it down from north to south. Woo! Friends, you're going to notice with flour tortillas, you do not want to create a huge bubble. It's very different than corn tortillas. You create that bubble in the middle, it's going to separate the bottom and top layer, and that is just ridiculous. Nobody wants their tortilla to be separate that way. We want a nice full tortilla to hold everything. Okay, this is really exciting. So it just takes a few seconds.
Do not overcook it on the first phase if you're going to reheat these for dinner.
And then you can just the tip with your spatula, and if you're doing it by hand, then I guess you're gonna have to work with the bubbles. We're ready. When you place your tortillas, you want to place them with the side that you started cooking first. We cooked that side first and that side second, so lay that one facing down. And that way, when you set your pile of tortillas, you set a nice, beautiful pile that you can impress your suegra and your kids.
They're nice and fluffy.
The suegra won't say anything to you after you make these tortillas, friends.
Did you drop Jamaica on your towel?
You know what? I'm doing my own dyes on my rags. They're kitchen rags. No stese. And boom, done, friends. You will all be able to achieve super soft and fluffy tortillas. Some of you say, well, they turn flat after you cook them. No, once you warm them up, you're going to see they'll fluff right up again. And also, just keep in mind, these are not tortillas that we use baking soda. This is how we make them in Sonora. And I hope that you guys are excited with your new tip to achieve perfect tortillas. And to store your tortillas, fold them in half like this. Make sure that they are room temperature before you store them. And a Ziploc bag usually doesn't work. Make sure to recycle your Ziploc bag, write tortilla bag on here, and that way you can just continue to reuse it. And that measurement is pretty good to fit into one large gallon Ziploc bag. So I'm gonna keep mine open just so it can air out. They don't get too sticky. And boom, done. Say ah. As always, Views Club and Bell Notification Squad, Cloud and I are wishing you the best. We absolutely adore you, and we want to give a special shout out to all of you that are making a conscious effort to take care of the grandest mother of all, Earth. And on that one, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye! Adios! Friends, later I'm going to show you how to make these and stretch them by hand.
One.
Yeah, perfect. Arriba Sonora! And these will be done quickly. I can eat about 26 of these.
They're so amazing.
I know I'm having a moment with this tortilla. Anything you add to this tortilla is gonna be great.
This is the meal when your mom says we have food at the house.
Yeah, when you have food at the house and you don't need anything else, you know. These tortillas are great for wraps, and my older son now, for lunch, he can actually make his own lunch. Like he'll say, "Oh no, mom, do we have any tortillas?" And he'll make himself a wrap. He'll put some deli meat on there or whatever he wants to put at the time, and it just made me so happy. And that's what I'm thinking about while I'm making these tortillas, because these are going to be good to feed a lot of people.
I like the way you look today. You look like Georgie.
Thank you. I wanted to cheer you up.
My little 90-day fiance.
And my
Georgie, now propose to me. I'm hopeful. Give me that ring. You even did the top of your hair like him.
You're welcome.
Yo sé bien que estoy afuera y el día en que yo me muera sé que tendrán que llorar. Llorar y llorar, llorar y llorar. Verás que tú me quisiste, pero vas a estar muy triste. Y así te vas a quedar. Con dinero y sin dinero hago siempre lo que quiero y mi palabra es la ley. No tengo trono y la Claudi. Come on, Georgie. You're in the confessional with Georgie. What is it like to date Darcy?
She's the most beautiful, sweet, kind woman, and she has hands of an angel for my head.
Oh my gosh.
¿Cómo está mi Georgie?
I don't know, I feel like you need to do a bunny dance now, like from one end to the other. No, the side one. She's going to Bulgaria.
Ya me voy a Bulgaria.
Wouldn't it be cool if we could go there one day?
We will.
I wonder if anyone has the plug.
I don't know if we have any Bulgarian friends.
Besides Georgie.
Besides Georgie.
If you're from Bulgaria, please let us know. We actually love your country, your
if
people,
you would like
your
to
food,
adopt
please.
us, take care of us, feed us, house us,
and a Bulgarian friend, thank you, bye.
Cloud wants a Bulgarian.
Cállate, that's not true.
That's not true. Now they know why my earring was like this last time. De todas las tonterías que hacemos aquí.
Someone said that they can't picture me dancing.
Girl, you're gonna have to bring it for the holidays.
That's all we do in here, sing and dance and cook.
Yep. Our cast iron is nice and nice and hot.
Drive it like it's hat. Drive it like it's hat.
Drive it like it's hat.
Hat potato. Start your engines.
Okay, ya, lista.
Cálmate, let's do this.
Enfócate.
Enfócate.
Enfocation.